Yes, students, we are talking about the motion in plane. Oblique projectile we have already discussed in the previous lecture. Today we are going to discuss in detail about the horizontal projectile. Horizontal projectile means I am simply throwing any object, a ball, or it can be a piece of chalk, whatever it can be there. I am throwing the object from a height with some horizontal velocity. This horizontal velocity, I am supposing it u, and I'm supposing that I'm throwing the body from a height h. Small h I have taken as the height. We are taking small g for acceleration due to gravity. Now simply the body is falling from a height. Body is falling from a height. See, if there is no gravity, then this body has to move in this straight line, means horizontally only. But it is not going to happen because gravity is there, and we are saying that when once we have thrown the body, it is made to fall only under the effect of gravity. We are ignoring air resistance, we are ignoring the effects due to rotation or curvature of earth. So all those effects we are simply ignoring. So we are so actually the body will not be moving in a straight line like this dotted shown, but it will follow this path. It will reach to the ground after some time. Now you are aware of these terms, that the distance on the ground which is traveled in the along the x-axis, that is termed as horizontal range, that is r, denoted by capital R here, that is the horizontal range. It is thrown from height h. H is already given to you. So in this case, when you are dealing with the horizontal projectile, you need not find the height. Height is already known to you. The things which can be asked, the questions which can be framed, they are like, they may ask you to prove that the path of the horizontal projectile is parabolic. They may ask you to derive the expression for the time of flight. Time of flight is the time during which the body is in flight. It means total time from O to A point. That will be time of flight. They may ask you to derive the expression for the horizontal range, that is the horizontal distance traveled on the earth. It means from this point at the bottom to A point. You may name this point like B point, or any naming you can do for your reference. That is the distance traveled on the ground. It means the horizontal distance traveled on the earth during this time of flight. That is your horizontal range they can ask. And they may ask you to derive the expression for the velocity at any point we may find the velocity. So all these derivations can be asked for the horizontal projectile. So starting with the first thing about the trajectory. Trajectory means the path followed by the projectile. I want to derive the expression for the trajectory, and I want to see whether it is a parabola or not. At any time small t, I am reaching at point P here, then the coordinates of P position, I am taking it as x and y. So it means if I draw the perpendiculars like this, then the distance along the x-axis is taken as small x, distance of the y-axis is taken as small y. So I can find the value of small x by using the second equation of motion. If I write it in the component form, then x, it is equals to uxt plus half ax t square. Now I know that ax is 0. Gravity is only acting along the vertical direction. Along the horizontal direction, no acceleration is there. So ax is 0. So I will be getting x equals to uxt. So I will be finding the value of t here, because ux is u only and there is no component along the y direction. So you may write these values, that ux is u and uy is 0, ax is 0 and ay is small g, that we are taking with positive sign. It is falling under the effect of gravity. So these values you should keep it in your mind, and then you put the value for ux. So I'm getting x equals to ut, or I can write t equals to x upon u. So call it as equation number 1. Now this value of t you will be putting for this equation of vertical distance, that is y. If I am writing again the second equation of motion for the uniform acceleration of this, in the component form, I am having the equation y, it is equals to uyt plus half ayt square. Now uy is 0 because no component along the y direction. I am throwing it horizontally, and ay it is equals to small g. So I am getting y equals to half gt square. And you put the value of t from first equation into second equation. So you are getting y equals to 1 by 2 g x upon u whole square, or which is coming out to be small g upon 2 u square into x square. So again, if I call it as some constant k, then I can write y it is equals to kx square, which is again equation of parabola. So I can say that the trajectory of horizontal projectile is parabolic. So if they are asking you to prove that the trajectory of the horizontal projectile is parabolic, again you have to write the second equation in the component form for the x-axis, for the y-axis, and using both these equations find the relation between y and x, and then only you will be getting the equation for the parabola. So this is the result with you, and this is of course a direct question which can be asked that prove that the path is parabolic. If you have to find the time of flight capital T, it is the total time for which the body is in flight, as I have explained you. So you have to use the second equation. Again in the component form you have to write that is equals to y equals to uyt plus half ayt square. You put the value of y, it's h, uy is 0, ay is small g. So you are getting the expression for t, which is equals to square root of 2h upon g. So you should be able to derive the expression for the time of flight. Moving for the horizontal range, it is the horizontal distance which is covered by the projectile during its time of flight. So that is equals to horizontal velocity into time of flight. Horizontal velocity means ux, which is equals to u. And time of flight we have calculated, it is coming out to be square root of 2h upon g. So this is the expression for the horizontal range, that is capital R. It is equals to u square root of 2h upon g. Now if you want to find the velocity of the projectile at any instant, of time, I am taking here the P position where I have reached after time small t, then the velocity at a point is of course tangent at that point. So you have to draw a tangent. This is giving me the direction for the velocity at that instant of time. Now if you resolve it into components, this is Vx, this is Vy. These are the components of the velocity. Vx and Vy are the components of velocity, and of course you can see if I want to find the resultant velocity, because Vx and Vy they are perpendicular to each other, so the magnitude of V will be given by square root of Vx square plus Vy square. So it means I should know the value of Vx and Vy. For that I will be using the first equation of motion again in the component form. If you write the equation of motion in the component form, then Vx it is equals to ux plus axt, and if you want to write for the Vy, it is equals to uy plus ayt, but you know ux it is equals to u and ax it is equals to 0. It means Vx is coming out equals to u only. And for Vy, if I want to write, uy is 0, no vertical component of velocity initially, and ay it is equals to small g. So I am getting Vy equals to gt. So if you put the value of Vx and Vy, and you can find the value of V velocity at any given instant of time, that is square root of Vx square plus Vy square, which is equals to square root of u square plus g square t square. And because velocity is a vector quantity, you have to give its direction. If I take this angle beta is made with Vx, then you can complete the triangle. You can write the value of tan beta, which is will come out to be equals to Vy upon Vx. So Vy is gt and Vx is u. So you can write tan beta, it is equals to Vy upon Vx, which is equals to gt upon u. Or you can simply say beta, it is equals to tan inverse gt upon u. So this is the expression finding for the velocity at any given instant of time when the body is of course thrown with some horizontal velocity from a height. These are few questions I have taken up for you. Like first question I am reading for you, which is on the basis of the projectile, whether it is horizontal projectile or oblique projectile. The question I am reading for you. Question is, find the angle of projection for which the horizontal range and maximum height are equal. It means when I am asking for angle of projection, it means I am talking about the oblique projectile. It means I am talking about the projectile which is thrown with some angular projection. So, which we discussed in the previous lecture. You should be knowing these formulas for the horizontal range and maximum height. For the horizontal range, the formula is u square sine 2 theta upon g. For maximum height, the formula is u square sine square theta upon 2g. So if you equate both these formulas, then you can find this relation, because small g on both sides will cancel, u square will also cancel. Sine 2 theta can be written as 2 sine theta cos theta by your trigonometric formula. So the knowledge of trigonometric formulas is a must. This formula you have done earlier, sine 2 theta, it is equals to 2 sine theta cos theta. This side I am keeping it right hand side same way, sine square theta upon 2. Sine theta on both sides will cancel, and this 2 if you do cross multiply, I am getting sine theta upon cos theta equals to 4. Or I can write tan theta equals to 4, or I can write theta, it is equals to tan inverse 4. So you can give the answer up to this, that this is the angle which should be there, angle of projection for both of the horizontal range and maximum height of a projectile to be same. So you have to simply equate. So these type of different questions can be asked, that when the horizontal range is twice of the maximum height, what should be the angle, or whatever way they can frame the questions. So formulas for maximum height, horizontal range, trajectory, all these formulas should be there in your mind. Moving to the next question. A ball is kicked at an angle of 30 degree with the vertical. If the horizontal component of the velocity is 19.6 meter per second, find the maximum height and horizontal range. Now see, they have given you angle 30 degree with the vertical. But the derivations which we have done with the angle with the horizontal. Of course, if they ask you angle with the vertical, you can do the derivation directly yourself by using those equations of motion for the uniformly accelerated motion. One way is that. But if you are having these formulas with the horizontal in your mind, then here you can change the angle, because total angle between the horizontal and vertical direction is 90 degree. So theta with horizontal, if I want to find, it will be equals to 90 minus 30. So I will be getting 60 degree angle is there formed with the horizontal. This angle is given 30 degree. So this is x direction, this is y direction. So of course this angle will be equals to 60 degree. So this is known to you, but you should be able to use it. So the angle is given with the horizontal, and the component along the horizontal direction is always u cos theta. So horizontal velocity they have given, that is u cos theta is given 19.6 meter per second. And you can find from here, you can find the value of u. U is equals to 19.6 divided by cos 60. Cos 60, you know, it is 1 by 2. So you will be getting it equals to 39.2 meter per second. This is the initial velocity, it means with which the body is thrown. And now if you know the initial velocity, you know the angle. So you can find the maximum height and horizontal range by simply using the formulas with you. That for maximum height it is u square sine square theta upon 2g. And for horizontal range it is u square sine 2 theta upon g. You can find the maximum height simply by putting the value of u, which is 39.2, sine square 60 degrees. Sine 60 is root 3 by 2. It means the whole square of root 3 by 2 you have to take, divided by 2g, it means 2 into 9.8. Of course, calculations you are supposed to work it yourself. I am giving you the answer for your reference. It is coming out to be 58.8. Similarly, when you are finding the horizontal range, u square sine 2 theta upon g is the formula. You will be putting the values for u, that is 39.2 whole square sine 2 theta means 2 into 60, that is 120 degree. So the value will be same, divided by 9.8. So you will be getting this answer on doing the calculations. Next question, again on the oblique projectile it is. They are saying at what angle should a body be projected with velocity 24 meter per second. It means initial velocity u is given 24 meter per second just to pass over the obstacle 16 meter height. An obstacle is kept at a height of 16 meter. I am supposing that let this point is here P, which is at height 16 meter and which is at a horizontal distance of 32 meter. This I am supposing I may take the point P here, here, where, anywhere I may take in the diagram. So I am supposing that let my point P, whose coordinates are 32 meter, 16 meter, is here at this position. And I want to find the angle theta. This theta is to be calculated. If this is u, of course, the horizontal component along x-axis is always u cos theta. Vertical component is always u sin theta. This much is your previous knowledge. Now, if I am saying it is passing after time say small t, then you can write from the second equation, that is s equals to ut plus half at square, because ax is 0. So I am getting x equals to u cos theta t. The same steps which we have taken to write the trajectory of the projectile. One method is this, or you can directly use the equation for the trajectory. That also can be done. If you do remember the equation of the trajectory, you simply put the value of x equals to 32, y equals to 16 meter in that equation, or I am following all the steps again, and that way the derivation will also get repeated. That if I want to write for y, I am getting uyt plus half ayt square, and uy means it is equals to u sin theta t minus half gt square. So the value of t from equation 1 can be taken, that is 32 upon 24 cos theta. I can put it here in the second equation, and I am getting, this was the equation of your parabola for the oblique projectile. Y it is equals to x tan theta minus this value we are getting from this your 32 upon 24 cos theta whole square. It means x upon u cos theta whole square. This value you can write into this value g. For here it is not given. I am taking the value of g equals to 10 for my convenience. If it is not mentioned in the question, you may take 10 meter per second square. If it is mentioned, then you are supposed to take that particular value. So I am taking g equals to 10 here. I will put the values. I'm getting this equation which is coming out to be a quadratic in tan theta, because 1 upon cos square theta, it is equals to secant square theta, which is equals to 1 plus tan square theta. So you can put this value for 1 upon cos square theta, you can put equals to 1 plus tan square theta. This is the value for 1 upon cos square theta. It is coming out to be 1 plus tan square theta. And if you work out with this equation, you are getting a quadratic in tan theta, that is 5 tan square theta minus 18 tan theta plus 14 equals to 0. So you can write the values for the tan theta by solving this quadratic, that is your b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So you have to put the values. This formula is already known to you to solve the quadratic. So you can put the values here and you can get the possible values of tan theta coming to be 2.4 or 1.1. Question I am reading for you, which is, in between two hills of height 100 meter and 90 meter respectively, two hills are there, one is 100 meter, another is 90 meter. There is a valley here in between these two hills that is of breadth 16 meters. So it means the distance between these two hills is given 16 meter, this distance. If a vehicle jumps from first hill to the second hill, of course not practically it is to be done, this is a question, so you have to take it as a question only. What must be the minimum horizontal velocity so that it may not fall into the valley? It means the particle has to move with some horizontal velocity. Horizontal velocity. This is the velocity u. If I am taking that velocity, you have to take, of course there is no component of the velocity in the vertical direction. So you have to see to it that uy is 0. Particle is thrown, or the body or the vehicle is to go with some horizontal velocity, they are asking. And difference in the heights is 10 meter, that is your y vertical distance. Small g is given in the question, 10 meter per second square, so I will take it. So I can write from the second equation of motion that time which it will take to cover this much height, that you may directly take from the time of flight, t equals to square root of 2h upon g. Here h is equals to y, which is equals to 10 meter. So square root of 2 into 10 divided by g is 10. So I am getting root 2 second is the time which it has to take to cover this vertical distance. So firstly you will be calculating the time, that will be the time of flight. Then for the horizontal motion, because u velocity is given, that is the ux, I have to find that rather. So but I know for this horizontal direction, if I write the equation, then it is x equals to ux t. So you can find the value of ux, that is equals to small x by t. This is the distance along the horizontal direction. So it should be covering this 16 meter distance, because if it is not covering 16 meter distance, then it will fall in between the valley. So this x is given 16 meter, time it has to take root 2 second. So by using these both the values, the horizontal velocity is calculated to be 8 root 2 meter per second. So you have to find this value, which is the horizontal velocity which the body should have, or here they have taken a vehicle should jump to cross the valley. So again, if you remember the formula, it is very fine. And if you don't remember, simply use the equations of motion in the component form and then find the things whichever are required. Moving to the last question for you. That is, a ball is projected horizontally from a tower with a velocity 4 meter per second. This is the horizontal velocity, initial velocity, that is ux is given find the velocity of the ball after 0.7 second. So you have to find the velocity. So it means for finding the velocity, I know the formula at any instant is Vx square plus Vy square. So I should be knowing the values of Vx and Vy. So for that, I will be writing the first equation of motion in the component form. So Vx is equals to Ux plus Axt. Ux is given 4, Ax is 0. So I am getting Vx equals to 4 meter per second. Similarly, you can write Vy equals to Uy plus Ayt. Uy is 0, no vertical component of the velocity is there because it is projected horizontally. Ay is equals to g. G is given in the question 10 meter per second square. So I am writing 10 into time is 0.7 second again given in the question. So you are getting Vy, it is equals to 7 meter per second. So if you put the values of Vx and Vy, you are getting it equals to square root of 4 square plus 7 square, which is coming out to be root 65 meter per second. Of course, velocity is a vector quantity, so you have to give its direction also. Tan beta, which is given by Vy upon Vx. When I am taking beta with the first vector, means Vx. Then if you wish, you may draw a diagram also here if you want to make the things more clear. Then the values are given 7 upon 4 and beta you can calculate, that is coming out to be tan inverse 7 by 4. So this is the result for you when you have to find the velocity. Now they will not ask you that you have to find magnitude and direction both. That should be understood to you in your mind that when velocity is a vector quantity, you have to find both. Because if you are not finding the direction, then your marks will be deducted accordingly. So for any vector quantity, you have to write the direction as well as magnitude. That should be clear in your mind. Keep things up to this. Thank you everyone.